behalf of the trustees, faculty, and staff of the college, I'm delighted to welcome you to Winter Commencement 2018. Yeah, that's the right one. And now, I'm looking for my cue, now entering are the 2018 winter graduates. Well done. You're in and in your seats. That's the first test tonight. We're gathered here with students, with family, with friends, with faculty, and with staff to celebrate these winter graduates through the tradition of commencement. As you know, the word commencement is about transitions and about new beginnings. New beginnings that are made possible by the great energy and the scholarship that you've invested in your exploration of knowledge at Sarah Lawrence. This exploration, this adventure was facilitated by a faculty who exhibit extraordinary dedication to teaching and to learning, who thrive on assisting students seeking pathways forward, who understand that the best education is the one that challenges preconceived notions, requires active engagement and discussion and debate with peers, and that ideally ensures that you develop not only the courage, but the intellectual fearlessness to pursue continuous learning in whatever context you find yourself in down the road after tonight. What I mean to share with you is this. Undergraduate and graduate studies are not an end unto themselves, although right now it may feel like that to most of you. Your time and to your parents and family as well. Your time and your education at Sarah Lawrence is a means to a future that each of you will shape and determine as you go forward from this place. A future that will call upon your talents constantly. And if your objective is to grow further, to contribute to the public good in whatever ways you might choose, which I hope it is, there will be times that you have to dig deep and to draw on the persistence that you have learned through your education here. In all likelihood, at some campus event or in those occasional letters or emails to the Sarah Lawrence community that you get from me, you've heard me hold forth on the motto of the college, wisdom with understanding. This world is in great need of both. Wisdom, understanding. For me, wisdom with understanding points to the essence of your Sarah Lawrence education. Discovering which questions to ask, how to follow those questions relentlessly, digging deep to pursue a possibility, bringing all of one's creative energies to bear. But it also signals a way of proceeding, wisdom with understanding, that reminds us of the necessity for empathy, for generosity and grace when encountering competing views, for an inclusivity that itself is deeply and openly inclusive. For only then can we learn to speak to each other across deep ideological divides. So your new beginning today, whether or not it was an intended goal when you first came to Sarah Lawrence, is very much about going forth to bring that motto to life through the challenges that you will accept in the years ahead. It's also a certain kind of burden, perhaps, but a burden of the best kind, to be a standard bearer in the world for Sarah Lawrence's motto, to be a standard bearer for wisdom with understanding. And so with that in mind, my first challenge to you graduates today is to relish the task ahead. In the journey, seek out the opportunity or the opportunities to apply not only the specific knowledge and talents you've nurtured here at Sarah Lawrence, but demonstrate and share with others the virtue of understanding that is informed by wisdom. If yours is an open mind inclined toward collaboration and an affirmative desire to comprehend the needs and the motivations of those around you, you will realize that promise of wisdom with understanding and take it to others. My second challenge to you is much simpler. Very, very shortly, you will officially be alumni of Sarah Lawrence College. I will look forward to welcoming you back to campus when we celebrate the opening of the Barbara Walters Campus Center that you have endured the digging and the building of. and for many other events in years to come. Though you may be departing the physical boundaries of this space, do not for a moment believe that you're leaving the Sarah Lawrence community. Instead, find the ways to call upon this community, which is now and forever your community and the community of your family and your friends. You might do so by remaining in contact with friends you found here, by corresponding with a faculty member who made a lasting impression, or by returning for a reunion or taking part in an alumni event in whatever region you may land around the world. And as you leave this place, you will discover, I suspect, what I have. You will encounter Sarah Lawrence people in all sorts of unusual and unexpected ways in the world. It will happen gradually and sometimes catch you by surprise as you meet someone who asks penetrating questions, who thinks about problems from many angles and in new ways, who puts together disparate interests and a passion for knowledge, who has a way of seeing, and who is just interesting. And at some point along the way, as you get to know them, you'll discover that they, too, are a Sarah Lawrence person. As I shared with last spring's graduates, to me, this is what it actually means to use the term Sarah Lawrence as a verb. To Sarah Lawrence someone is to step forward to engage another with intentionality and with the quintessential deep inquisitiveness, openness, and knowledge-seeking that personifies a Sarah Lawrence education and that permeates absolutely every interaction I have ever had with Sarah Lawrence graduates. So, be on the lookout for other Sarah Lawrence graduates wherever you are. You'll find they stand out in a crowd, inquisitive and deeply confident, creative, perhaps unconventional, and quietly comfortable in the use of the written and spoken word. So thus, my final challenge to you is two simple words: stay connected. Congratulations to the winter commencement of 2018. And now to begin the program of our graduate degrees, I invite Katie Swartwood, Graduate Student Senate President and student from the Graduate Program in Women's History, to offer greetings from a graduate student. Katie.
Can't see everyone. Can I bring? Welcome. I'd first like to say congratulations to all of our December graduates. You should all be extremely proud of this accomplishment and all the hard work you've put in during your time at Sarah Lawrence College. The curriculum here is rigorous as it demands time, effort, and attention, maybe even a good cry. But I can assure you that all those long nights preparing for class, shows, and projects will be invaluable as you move forward after graduation. Whether you plan to continue in school or enter the job force, you'll be able to take the skills and knowledge you've gained here at Sarah Lawrence and transition them into your future ahead. The great thing about Sarah Lawrence is its ability to shape the way we synthesize information, the way we interact with the world around us. From now on, you will think deeper, care more, and act better. What you've accomplished here today is a great achievement. No matter what background you've come from, no matter if you've had doubts about your abilities in the past, you can now say that today you've successfully graduated from Sarah Lawrence College. So again, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing what you do next.
Thank you, Katie. And now please welcome Mary Dillard, faculty member and director of the Graduate Program in Women's History, who will offer greetings from the graduate faculty.
Good evening, everyone. I want to start out, obviously, by saying congratulations to the students who are getting ready to graduate, but also congratulations to the families. I think it's very important for us to acknowledge that getting through any type of educational program is hopefully not an individual endeavor. Hopefully it's a family affair, however you define family. And so I want to congratulate not just the graduates, but also the families who have worked with you, supported you, prayed for you, held on to you, nudged you, woke you up, brought you coffee, done all these things over the past, for graduate students, over the past 2 years, for undergraduates, well, for all of you over the past 2, 4 plus, who knows how long it has taken you, but what an accomplishment you all have made that you are here today. So first of all, give yourselves. Really. So I am offering a welcome as director of the MA program in Women's History, but also on behalf of the other graduate program directors. And this, my students know, my welcomes tend to be a little bit personal. So I just want to say to all of you, but especially to the graduate students, I'm almost 20 years past getting my PhD, but I want you to know that I still remember what it meant, all of it. I still remember what it meant to apply, what it meant to make the decision that you needed to go back to school, what it meant to think through all of that, what it meant to figure out where you're going, and so I still remember what it feels like to sit in those seats right now. And that's really significant. In my case, in my family, I went to college at the same time. I went to undergraduate at the same time that my parents did. So I always joke with my students that, it was never easy to call home and complain about having work to do because my parents were doing the same thing that many of you as graduate students especially have done as you've worked your way through this program. When I got my PhD, I remember a group of us sitting we just were, right before graduation, we were sitting on the back patio of a friend's, just a friend's house in Los Angeles. I went to UCLA for graduate school. I put my arm around the person that I was dating at the time and I said, it doesn't get any better than this, because it was such a relief to be done. It was such a relief to have made such an important achievement. And what I want to tell you all, though, is fortunately, it does get better than that, right? It does get better than sitting on a porch and being like, oh, this is so great. I want to tell the graduates, very important, you have accomplished two things. Number one, you've worked really hard, and you have accomplished something that has been really important to you. But in particular for the graduate students, for all of you, but for the graduate students, I want to speak, because there's 4 of you, I want to speak to you in particular. I think you've also done something really special, because you have become the wizard of your dreams. And what that means is you have figured out a way to make your dream come true, and you have done it. And you really deserve all of the recognition, all of the pride, all of the champagne, all of the celebration that's going to come afterwards. You all really deserve that. So I welcome you all today to what I think is a really special occasion, because it's a smaller group. You're not under the tent competing with a whole bunch of other people, So I welcome you to what is a really special occasion. And what I would say, I want to give you the Emmanuel Lomax smile. So Manny Lomax is the director of graduate admissions, and when he's trying to convince people to come, he gives this big smile. People have heard me say this. He gives this big smile, and he says, "We're here for you. We support you. We want you to come. We want Sarah Lawrence is the place for you, and if it is the place, if you feel that this is the place for you, we're going to do everything that we can to support you." And so I want to give you the Manny Lomax smile, and also just say, we're proud of you. And so please keep in touch. We want to hear from you, and we want to know, we want to celebrate your accomplishments in the future, because we know that they will be spectacular, and we also know that they will be many. So congratulations and welcome this evening.
So now joining Mary and me at the podium is Kenwal Singh, Provost and Dean of the Faculty, who will hood our graduate students. So will the candidates for the Master of Arts degree in Women's History please rise? By virtue of the power vested in me by the Regents of the University of the State of New York, and at the recommendation of the faculty and the Board of Trustees of Sarah Lawrence College, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto.
Corinne McSpadden. Sarah,
Yeah, come in, come in.
Sarah E. S. Schmer.
I should have said for the master's students, part of the importance is the hooding. You look at academic regalia and you can tell by the link that you now have a master's degree, and the color tells you what sort. Undergraduates, no hoods coming for you, just so you don't get worried on this one. So now I'd like to welcome Paige Ackerson-Keeley, Associate Director of the MFA Writing Program, to the stage. And will our candidates for the Master of Fine Arts degree in writing please rise? Good on. By virtue of the power vested in me by the Regents of the University of the State of New York, and at the recommendation of the faculty and the Board of Trustees of Sarah Lawrence College, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Fine Arts with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto.
Jessica Bram. Madeline Burns.
So congratulations again to our graduate students and our new master degree holders. Now I'm pleased to welcome Isoke Atiba and Ian Gonzalez, senior class co-presidents, who will offer greetings from undergraduate students.
Hello, I'm Isoke. This is Ian. We are the senior class co-presidents, and we're so honored and happy to be here today.
I mean, congratulations! This is amazing. We don't we don't need to tell you, how proud you guys should be. Like, you guys know how big of an accomplishment this is. Let's, I guess, just try to remember today that very few of us got here just by ourselves. So let's thank everybody that helped us along the way. And as Crystal said, let's really try to stay connected. And if you're in a city and someone is trying to interview in that city, maybe, help out a friend and show them around or something. Your boy's looking for a internship. If you guys get hired somewhere, let us know. Let's communicate. And yeah, congratulations, guys, really.
I just want to say we've all been this together. I know a lot of you sitting in these seats right now. I know your curiosity. I know your determination. And I think in the end, that's really what's going to take us where we need to be, get us that job, get us that paid internship, and just guide us to where we'll do our best. So congratulations, everyone. We're honored to be your presidents. We're honored to see you graduate today. Have a great time.
Thank you. And now I invite Fred Stripe, the Margot C. Bogert Distinguished Service Chair in Film and Moving Image Arts faculty member and longest title on record, to speak on behalf of the undergraduate faculty.
Greetings from the undergraduate faculty. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. That's a quote from the 1999 film, The Matrix, by the then Wachowski brothers. The character of Neo goes on a search for self and identity. The filmmakers who are now the Wachowski sisters, Lana and Lily, indeed echo the themes of this film when you consider their own unique and extraordinary journey of discovery during the past several years. And so, too, your journey of discovery begins anew now. That's why it's called Commencement. I imagine that most of you are feeling a little bit strongly about things. You're wondering about things. I don't know, you maybe feel a little bit swamped. I don't know. You might be feeling a little overly anxious. And you're probably running around like your hair's on fire and you don't know what to do. Perhaps you're generally somewhat overwhelmed.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
You may even be struggling with a bit of your own identity crisis.
I don't know who I am. I don't know where I'm going.
And maybe you just want to express who you feel you really may be.
I'm the dude.
Or like Neo, you wonder if you are indeed the one, and if you are, the one what? You have questions, as did our friend Walt Whitman, who wrote, "O me, O life, of the questions these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of the cities filled with the foolish, of myself forever reproaching myself, for who more foolish and who more faithless?"
What good amid these, O me, O life?
Among other things, I teach dramatic structure, and I would have a pretty persuasive argument to say that you're at the end of your first act, with the dramatic question raised now, what happens next? As you feel yourself stumbling into your second act, some questions of these recurring. What can I do with a Sarah Lawrence education? Answer, anything you have a mind to. When I do faculty on the road for the college, in speaking with alums, I'm struck by how many of them talk about finding their passion in their careers and fields that they didn't even know existed when they were at SLC. Embrace the statistic that 65% of all college graduates find their paths and fulfillment in areas unrelated to the fields of study they did, outside the bounds of anything they thought they might pursue. And take heart in the statistic that 65% of the jobs to which you'll have access to in the next decade don't yet exist. So, how does one prepare for such a future? You already have. You've learned how to explore, to engage, to collaborate, to research, to query, to conceptualize, to outline, to organize, to execute, and to deliver. Every conference project that you've done, and those of you who are graduating tonight have done upwards of about 24, they've proven that you're self-directed, you're task-oriented, you're deliberate, you're creative, you're interactive, you're resourceful, you're innovative, tenacious, a consummate multitasker, focused, and again, one who delivers. What better preparation for this uncertain world we face? Remember what the famous warrior poet once said, "We are what we do and what we don't, and it's what you do next that matters." The warrior poet in question is actually the dude himself.
I'm the dude.
That's me back when I was in your shoes, okay? We are what we do and what we don't. Bill Shakespeare once wrote, the first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers. Well, that's fine, but I'd suggest the first thing you do each day is get up and make your bed. Why? Because at that point, it's the largest thing in your room and possibly your life, and you've accomplished something before your day has even begun. Making your bed will also help you resist the urge to crawl back in. In his book, The War of Art, author Stephen Pressfield speaks of toxic resistance. It's that thing that wears us down and keeps us from possibly pursuing the very thing we were put on this planet to do. It keeps us from pursuing our verse, if you will. Toxic resistance is that self-defeating mantra. You're foolish. You can't. You shouldn't. you'll fail. You cannot go through life worrying about failure, about messing up, or about accidents. Consider the Jackson Pollock quote, "I don't use the accident, I deny the accident, and in that nothing is accidental." Failure is not failure by definition, it is actually learning.
You know, Thomas Edison tried and failed nearly 2,000 times to develop the carbonized cotton thread filament for the incandescent light bulb.
Edison.
And when asked about it, he said, "I didn't fail. I found out 2,000 ways how not to make a light bulb, but you only need to find one way to make it work."
Remember that every breath has purpose. And when you're or you're blocked or you're feeling unproductive, remember what actor, filmmaker, and studio head Charlie Chaplin said. The real work was thinking, just thinking. You will sometimes feel dread. We often dread that which we know is the thing we must eventually do. This indeed is every hero's journey. So take heart and remember that it is in our trials where we learn, where truly learning is revealed. Also remember that with the exception of falling in love, nothing worthwhile is ever easy.
It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great.
Sorry. In a world that often seems to make no sense, I still always cling to hope. In John Carpenter's 1984 film Starman, in an Oscar-nominated performance, our friend Jeff Bridges here plays a peaceful alien who visits Earth to study our species. By the end of the film, he's being hunted by evil government forces and is slowly dying and will perish if he doesn't rendezvous with the mothership by a certain time. He has a final conversation with a sympathetic scientist played by Charles Martin Smith, who, along with Karen Allen, is trying to help the Starman escape to return home. The Starman reveals to the scientist what he finds most beautiful about the human species, and this is why I cling to hope.
Species, not like any other. And you would be surprised how many there are. Intelligent but savage. Shall I tell you what I find beautiful about you? You are at your very best when things are worst.
And so lastly, of these questions, of these recurring, what good amid these, O me, O life?
Answer that you are here, that life exists and identity, that the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. That the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be?
We are what we do and what we don't, and it's what you do next that matters. So have at it.
I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Fred. And now join me is Kenwal Singh and Danny Trio, Dean of Studies and Student Life, as we move to the presentation of the undergraduate degrees. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Art degree please stand? Thank you. By virtue of the power vested in me by the Regents of the University of the State of New York, and at the recommendation of the faculty and the Board of Trustees of Sarah Lawrence College, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Will the new Bachelor of Arts please come forward?
It is my privilege to present to you the class of 2018. Evan Solomon Berger. Giles Matthew Curran. David Michael Gobrees Jr. Paige Coleman Lewis. Victoria Durant Maniscalco. Isaac McCune. Severine Reisp. Megan Page Roberts. Shrita Sagan. Leandra F. Shields. Lucas Samois. Yutron Singh.
Love you.
Mengsu Shu.
Congratulations, graduates. It's official. And now it's my pleasure to invite Claire Rodman, President of our Alumni Board Association, to welcome you, our very newest alumni, to the Alumni Association.
Good evening. I'm Claire Rodman, class of '86, and as the president, I'm here to welcome you into the Sarah Lawrence Alumni Association. You should be proud of all you have accomplished while you were here, and we are excited for whatever is next for you. We fellow and sister alumni wish you the best, and just remember, you will be an alum for longer than you were a student. And there is a whole community and network of people waiting for you to join us and to support you in all the endeavors you will pursue in your life. If you're a typical Laurentian, there'll be about 20 of them. And some will be wonderful, and some won't be wonderful, but you'll learn from them. And all of your projects, relationships, and achievements will be a reflection of what you learned here, which is to bring all your faculties of research, critical thinking, and curiosity to everything in your life. Since you're on the same class year line, you might meet this guy that I knew when I was at Sarah Lawrence at a reunion sometime. Remember his words as you go forth. Find what you love, then fight like hell when people try to take it away from you. J.J. Abrams, Sarah Lawrence, '88. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy each other. Welcome to the Alumni Association. Congratulations, and break a leg.
Thank you, Claire. I join Claire in welcoming you to the Sarah Lawrence Alumni Association. I want to thank you, families, friends, class of 2018 who's looking for what you're going to, 2019 looking for what you're going to do in May, right? You got to practice one, I see upstairs. Congratulations to all the graduates and our guests this evening. And now I'd like to ask you to please join me in the Humboldt Atrium, and we'll celebrate together. Thank you for being here.